Hello everybody, my name is Jay. I'm one of the expert OET teachers here at e2language.com. If you're preparing for OET 2.0, do check out the website. We've got a great preparation course that can help you out. What I want to do in today's live class is look at listening part A, the new listening part A test. It has changed quite significantly from the previous test. What I want to do more specifically is I want to show you what this test looks like. I want to talk to you about a method that you can use. There's lots of things that you need to know about this test to help you perform better on test day. We're going to do some actual practice using a real sample from the OET, and thank you for the OET for allowing me to use it. Then we're going to go through the answers together, okay? So this will be great preparation for you to prepare you for listening part A. So first of all, let me describe this test to you, this subtest. So this is what it looks like on test day. You can see case notes there with gaps, and what you have to do is complete the gaps with a single word or words, a short phrase from the audio, okay? It's pretty straightforward. But there's a lot to this test. So let me talk to you about a method that you can apply on test day. And first of all, let me start with an important rule. That is, the patient will say the answers that you need, okay? So for example, in the test that we're about to do, you will hear a gastroenterologist talking to a patient called Andrew Taylor. So the answers will come from Andrew Taylor, not the gastroenterologist. But you do need to listen for the medical professional because they will be guiding you through the different case notes and saying, okay, now we've talked about this, let's talk about your diet. And so you'll know that you're on diet, for example. So they're both important, but the answers come from the patient. The second thing I want to talk to you about is how you can, I wouldn't say predict the answers, but you can anticipate what the answers might be. And this is extremely helpful. Okay, let's look at this carefully. So what happens is you get 30 seconds reading time. The audio will say, you will hear a gastroenterologist talking to a man named Andrew Taylor. You now have 30 seconds to look at the reading paper, or the listening paper, I should say. Now, what you can do in those 30 seconds is anticipate what type of word will fit here. Let's look at number one. Has had something over a long period. What might that be? What type of word? Number two here, reports a frequent something sensation. We're probably going to be looking for some sort of gerund adjective there with an ing, right? Anyway, I'm going to give you 10 seconds. You've got to move quite quickly because remember you have 30 seconds to look at 12. I want you to predict what type of word might fit in the gap. Okay, let's look at the next set. We've got 6, 7, 8. Try to predict what type of word might fit here. Works as an... I should say, now, you're obviously not going to be able to predict the exact answer. But what you will be able to do is put in your mind what type of word you need to be listening for, right? And that will help you enormously when the audio starts and you start to work through it. Let's do the rest of them, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, now hopefully you also paid attention to these subtitles here. For example, now trying, it's going to be a type of medication, right? Anyway, 30 seconds goes very quickly when you're trying to find or predict what word, what type of word might fit those gaps. So you do just have to really very efficiently and rapidly read through it and just go, okay, got it. All right, let me show you what my predictions were. So number one, has had over a long period. It's going to be a medical issue, I suspect, like a hernia or a cough or asthma, something like that. It's going to be a singular noun like this. Number 2, reports a frequent something sensation. It has to be one of those adjectives or nouns, the gerunds, that have an ing ending, like a burning, itching sensation, something like that, right? Number 3, most recently, something has become a problem. This will be another medical issue. Number 4, word used to describe symptoms. So it's going to be a single word used to describe symptoms. It's going to be an adjective like terrible, awful, painful, something like that, right? Number 5, frequent something. Patient didn't initially link these, plural. So this word here is going to have to be a plural noun, like maybe headaches, but it's going to be something with an S on the end because this tells me that this is going to be plural, right? I mean, these are sorts of things that through practice you'll get very good at. And obviously the better your English is, the more that you will sort of pick up on these naturally. If your English is not so good, this won't come so quickly to you, right? But these are extremely helpful hints in that 30 seconds reading time. All right, number 6. This was pretty straightforward, but there's a little clue here. Works as an. It's going to be a job starting with a vowel. Maybe an airline host, or maybe an optometrist, something like that, right? You're predicting a job type starting with a vowel. 7, situation at work means patient is. Actually, it might not be a verb being, it'd just be an adjective there. It could be, I don't know, nauseous, sleepy, something like that. Forget verbing, it could be something like that. Number 8, complains of lack of maybe sleep. And here's the word insomnia, so possibly that is the right answer there. But just be careful when you're doing that because it might not be as well. Let's look at 9, 10, 11, and 12. Claims to be consuming sufficient. Well, consuming basically means eating, so it's going to be some sort of mineral or vitamin or food type. Number 10, has experimented with excluding. Remember, we're under the subtitle of diet, so it's going to be a specific food from diet, and that tells you there anyway. Number 11, has undergone MRI, perhaps? Remember, this is diet though, so possibly not MRI, but something like that. You undergo an MRI, for example. Medication, number 12, now trying. Well, this is going to be a type of medication. You can see how powerful predicting or anticipating the answers is in that 30 seconds preparation time, okay? Again, it takes practice, so you get better and better at it, and the more you practice, the faster you get. Okay, also, importantly, what I want to talk to you about is synonymous language. You've all heard of synonyms, right? Well, let's talk about synonymous language. So not necessarily a single word, but how we say things in different ways. So this is the patient speaking. And this is the note here. Has had something over a long period. So we're going to use synonymous language here. This is not going to mirror exactly. Patient says, well, this has been going on for many years. Okay, here's your synonym here. Has been going on for many years, especially this part here, for many years over a long period, right? Now, after meals, I've always tended to get. That is where the answer goes. That's the word that you need to put there. I'm going to hide it from you for the moment. But you can see how has had something over a long period. You can see the synonymous language here. They don't use the same words in the notes here. Let's look at another one. Okay, effects of condition on everyday life. Situation at work means patient is something. Adjective. He says, there's a chance I might lose my job in a reorganization of my department. Situation at work. Reorganization of my department. So that's obviously something that's making me, and there you go. That's where the answer is going to be. Okay? I don't know what's going to happen. And that sort of little bit of a clue tells you about this. Okay, let's look at one more. Okay, here the signpost is diet, claims to be consuming sufficient. We know this is a type of food. Claims to be hydrated. I was told by a nutritionist I saw that people with irritable bowel syndrome often don't eat enough. Okay? In my case, I don't feel that's an issue. Okay, claims sufficient. I don't feel that's an issue. That's his claim there. So you can see the synonymous language there. I followed the nutritionist's advice about taking more fluids during the day. Here we're talking about hydration. We've moved from number 9 to the next one here. Especially water, and accept that. In the past, maybe I didn't do that enough. Okay? So that shows you the relationship between what the speakers are saying and what the words